the previous section, we talked about dynamic time consistency of exponential discounting, the fact that the present and the future selves agree. Here is a thought experiment. Choose the item below today which you are more likely to choose for today. Wake up early in the morning for an exercise or sleep a little longer. Here is a second version of the problem. Choose an item below today, so you have to make the choice today for something that you will do next week. Next week, wake up early in the morning to exercise or sleep a little longer. Is there a difference? Perhaps there is. Why don't you think about it for 10 seconds? Here are some statements that you do not usually hear. So for example, we are less likely to say, I plan to exercise less next year. I plan to drink more alcohol next year. Or I plan to eat more laddus next year. I plan to wake up in the noon every day next year. I plan to watch more TV next year. I plan to smoke more cigarettes next year. Do we hear these statements? No. We make plans, but we often find it hard to stick to the plans. In other words, for humans such as me, optimal plans are dynamically time inconsistent. So we make plans, but we fail to stick to it. So here are some of the statements that you do hear. That I will watch IPL today, but I will complete the assignment tomorrow. I'll go out for beer this evening, but tomorrow I'll definitely go to the gym. I'll sleep till late this week, but next week onwards, I'll be up at the crack of dawn. So we always make a plan to be up at the crack of dawn, but we find it very hard to stick to the plans. Humans, in other words, have preferences that are said to be dynamically time inconsistent. What does that mean? Well, the optimal plans for humans change simply because of the passage of time, all else equal. All else equal, the optimal plan changes. And why does it change? Well, simply because the present and the future selves do not agree anymore. Remember the weekend movie example? You made a plan today for going to the weekend movie, and when the weekend arrives, your weekend self agrees. But for a wide range of choices, the present and the future selves do not agree. For example, we make statements such as these. Next month, I'm quitting smoking. Right? We make a plan today about quitting smoking next month, but when next month arrives, does our next month's self agree? Early selves, they often plan to do the good thing, but the later selves, they often want instant gratification. Interestingly, an econ will never have these dynamic inconsistencies. In other words, if an econ thinks that next month onward he or she will quit smoking, an econ will end up doing it. If an econ thinks that she will get up at 7 a.m. in the morning tomorrow and study for behavioral economics, an econ will do it. However, a human may not be able to stick to the plans. Do you have some of these inconsistencies? If yes, you are probably not an econ.